Hey, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I'm your opening host today, and you're going to hear a little bit more from me here in a few minutes as I answer questions live from our listening community. You see, once a week or so on Mondays, typically, we go live on Zoom in our 73,000 member Facebook group, and we take questions from anyone and everyone of all experience levels, and we do our best as an expert team of leaders and coaches in this community to answer those questions. And sometimes that turns into really good content that's very useful. So we started capturing it and putting it on our weekend updates, which is what this is. If you're listening to this episode right when it's released, hey, it's Saturday. We've just kicked off a new month too. So how about you start off the new month and your weekend the right way with some great content from the leadership team of the Silent Sales Machine Radio podcast. Now, I've been earning money from the internet as the only source of income for my family of 7 for over 20 years now. And that experience has grown into a team of others who are far more qualified than me in most cases on all kinds of other areas of expertise, including specifically the one we're most excited about for most of our new students is Amazon. There's huge opportunity there. And that's what this podcast is all about. So before we get into the content today, if you're new around here, this podcast features hundreds of success story interviews with students of ours. These are coaching students that we've coached to success. They're also proven Amazon course students, which is our flagship Amazon training course that teaches all manner of different strategies, but it starts all new sellers, regardless of where you live in the world, with the exact same strategy that's been proven and time tested over and over and over again. That's what this podcast is about. All those great success stories, along with great tips and strategies for not just Amazon success, but multiple streams of income. But we love to start those who are new with Amazon, and specifically with our replens selling model. Well, that's enough of a good intro for now. If you're new around here, hopefully you appreciated some of those updates. We've got a great Facebook group, 73,000 plus members, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, actually, we take Sundays off and pause the group, but you can join us and see great people from all over the world who are using the strategies we teach to grow incredible businesses. Over 1,900 success posts in that Facebook group that you can scroll through. Pretty incredible, huh? So, hey, enjoy this weekend update. These are some of the best moments from a recent live Q&A session, and hopefully it serves you very well. Hey, have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Hello, everybody.
We are a community. If you're new here, we're a community of e-commerce sellers. We sell on all different platforms. A lot of what we're concentrating on right now is Amazon. We usually start people out with Amazon with a very simple concept called replens. That is a low investment, low investment, low risk way to get started and a high chance for success. So that's where we usually start people out. If you're new to e-commerce, and there are many ways to get information on that. If you are a member of the Proven Amazon course, we also have a Facebook group, which you probably know of. That's probably how you heard about this meeting this afternoon, the My Silent Team Facebook group. Jim Cockrum is our leader in all of these things, and he is away right now. So I'm Robin Joy Olson, and I will be hosting today, and I will try to answer whatever questions that come up. Sylvia Williams asks, is the goal to sell across several ASINs? What if there is only one, but it ticks off all the boxes? Do I pass on it because there's only one? I'm not sure I understand that question, Sylvia. I apologize. Yes, there is a goal to sell across several ASINs, and that's because it keeps your risk low. So when I say that, I am talking about selling inventory, putting inventory in different ASINs, and it will sell individually. I'm not sure what it means if there's only one. So what I think maybe you're asking about is, and Jim talks about this all the time, instead of just scanning for a UPC code to see if there's a listing for that particular product, if you type in a search to either on your phone or on Amazon.com, then you will often find, let's say it's a Betty Crocker cake mix, chocolate cake mix. Okay. You find if you type in a UPC code, you're going to get one item, one ASIN that's only for one cake mix. However, if you search, you'll get maybe some more options. And those are maybe a 2-pack of that cake mix. So you get in one unit, you get 2 chocolate cakes mixes, or a 3-pack, or it might be combined with Betty Crocker frosting or some other kind of frosting. So a cake mix and a frosting creates one unit. That's yet another ASIN. So we've talked about 3 or 4 ASINs now already. So I feel like in that case, the question might be, if there is still only one chocolate cake mix and there aren't any multi-packs or bundles of cake mixes, should I still sell on it if it checks all the boxes? Now, assuming you mean all the boxes mean that it's test worthy to you for whatever requirements you're using, then absolutely. I'm getting yes, yes. I think I'm on the right track here, Missy. Okay, I'm getting yes, yes. So if that's the case and you only find one chocolate cake mix and you can buy it and it's worth testing, it's a good listing, it's a good source, then test it. It does not have to have different listings with that cake mix in different forms. So I hope that answers your question. Do not stop just because you only see one listing. It's just okay, yeah, I think I got it now. So the idea is there might be more listings. So don't limit yourself to just what shows up if you scan the barcode. Go ahead and type it in and see if there are any other listings that might be included or might be something that you could include that same item with, or multi-packs or something. How many of you listen to Silent Sales Machine Radio? Jim has a podcast that he 2 or 3 times a week. He posts mostly testimonials, stories of people who have found success using the concepts that are taught here in the Proven Amazon course. Jim Cockrum, again, is the leader, and he is the one who does these interviews. When people find success, he puts them on the podcast and asks them about it, and they tell us what they had to go through to get it done, what they have, how they're doing now, where they started, what their struggles were. They share everything with us. So that's encouraging to me. I mean, in fact, that's really what got Brian started. My husband, Brian, started, who started before me in this community, because he was hearing stories of people, real life people, that were actually finding success and overcoming things that they had to overcome. I mean, we all have our own stuff, right? We all have our stuff that we have to overcome, whether it be, I don't understand how this works, or I have, family situations that are, something for me to deal with. Whatever those situations are, these people share them with us. And it is just so encouraging to know that people made it through, people broke down those barriers, and they ended up working, having a beautiful business that they can actually make money from. So I encourage you to listen to Silent Sales Machine Radio. It is a podcast on all the regular podcast channels. And it's also, they also have a YouTube channel that you can get to. silentjimdotcom is where you can get all this information. Every podcast, not every podcast, most podcasts are also on YouTube, so you can see the people talking as well. Some of them are people who are not quite ready to show their face yet, and they just wanted to, maybe they still have a job, they want to protect their identity for a little while, so they don't put their face on camera, but they still get interviewed. So those are wonderful as well.
Hello, Robin.
Hello.
You can't see my face
iPhone.
because I wasn't sure if it was going to be like viewable, and I'm not made up. But this is Lily. Remember that I I was in the training. You were my mentor like
In
five
the workshop?
times.
I mean, in the Kickstart group.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, after the holidays, we are supposed to get together, but I didn't because I've already I have a lot of ASINs, and I sold in May 5,000 something dollars. So I'm growing little by little.
Okay. All right. That's great. Is it going
Mhm.
well?
From Sylvia, her question is, how many hours a week should I source?
I see. Brian said as many as you can. Yes, I agree with that. So everybody has their own schedule, right? Some of us have full-time jobs, some of us have kids, some of us have homes that we have to take care of, some of us are taking care of loved ones. Everyone has their own schedule. What I like to encourage people to do is decide upfront, hours am I able, and of those, what am I willing to put in to building my business, knowing that I'm gonna have to put a lot of work in before I, see a whole lot of uh, return from it. You gotta build it, right? So I like to keep people accountable to themselves. I always say, treat yourself as well as you would treat your boss. If you made a schedule and you said, I'm going to get this done at this during, at 4:30 on Friday, I'm going to work on this thing. And then you saw your boss on Monday and you didn't work on it. You don't just say, oh, well, I didn't get to that. No big deal. No, you say, no, I didn't work on it. I understand that I need to, and I will reschedule it. Now I'll work on it Tuesday at 3 p.m., whatever the case is. So the point there is schedule your time, give your time a job. And then if you can't, for some reason, make that happen, reschedule it. Make sure that you're using all the hours that you have committed to using. And we all have different times. So it's going to go faster or slower depending on how many hours you have to do it. I've seen people do this with 4 or 5 kids, young little kids, single moms. Like, it can be done if you want to badly enough, but you have to make a commitment and make sure that's happening.
From Darwin, several of my listings require compliance documentation. I've seen mixed responses online, whether or not it's worth trying to resolve this. If it is, how might I go about this?
Okay, if it is compliance documents, sometimes I have to interpret what the question is, but let me see if I can answer this right. If it's compliance documents, meaning it's a toy and you need a child safety certificate, or it's a drug, not a drug, a health supplement or something like that, and you need some kind of documentation like that. If it's something like that, that's the product that you need documentation for the customer to make the customer feel comfortable, to make Amazon feel comfortable that their customers are getting the proper thing. Then you do not have to supply that. You probably have the ASIN probably has given you an email, or Amazon has given you an email saying, so we need these documents in order to keep this ASIN going. We're going to give you a couple of weeks to gather those documents and send them in. If that's the case, and you cannot find those documents, a lot of times I don't even look because they're hard to find, or even available. But wait on that. Don't pull your inventory yet, because that email was sent to all the sellers on that ASIN, everybody who had that in their inventory. So someone may actually come up with that documentation, and it only needs to be one. Now, Amazon will not notify you that that person came up with the documentation. But when the time period goes out, if the ASIN's still up, then you know somebody came up with it and it was good. If the ASIN comes down, then apparently not. Then you can pull your inventory, unless you can find the documentation that they need. So hopefully that's the question you were asking, and that's what you were wanting.
Darwin responded the listings were already taken down.
Oh, already taken down. Okay, so nobody came up with those nobody came up with that documentation that they needed. If you can get it, go ahead and send it in. But if you can't, I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. So if the listing's not there, you won't be able to sell on it. So you will want to pull your inventory because it can't be sold. Maybe you can find a different ASIN to sell it on.
From Bob,
Mhm.
have you been successful setting up tax exemptions for all of your sourcing websites? He's finding it challenging.
Yeah, so this is going to be up to the seller, the retailer, the source, whomever you're purchasing from. They don't have to give you that option. What I do is I don't worry about it too much on most of my, unless it's one that I use all the time. I have talked to my accountant and I can get that a credit for those taxes at the end of the year. But it's nothing you can do if they won't accept a tax exempt certificate. Many retail sites are not set up to do that anyway. So you'll have to find another way to get your tax money back if you pay taxes on it. And you might talk to your accountant on it. They might have some ideas as well. Lily brought up, thank you for bringing up the Kickstart program. That is a program that I'm usually the coach there. It's a 4-week program, and they're running all the time. You can get into one pretty much whenever. Every couple of weeks, they get a new one starts. And what we do is we take people who have not sold on Amazon before. We take them from opening up their Amazon account and their Keepa account, which is the one tool that we feel like you really don't need any others to get started. And then we take you through finding one item, just through the process one time, one rep through the system, where you find one item that you're approved to sell that from a good retailer, and we'll explain what that takes to do that, and an ASIN that you're approved to sell that match, and we'll show you how to purchase, prep, and ship that item into Amazon, Amazon's FBA warehouses, and put it up for sale. Takes you one time through the process, and kind of what it does is it kind of takes away all the kind of worries and some of the what Jim calls mountains that we feel like are mountains, but they turn into molehills after you go through this process. It's just not really a big deal, but you will have to see that and see all the instructions and see all the ways that you can make this happen. This happens in 4 weeks. During that 4 weeks, the people who are in that group are in a private Facebook group. So we can only, we can ask questions without having it, too many people see our questions. We're kind of private in there, which new people sometimes like. They will, we will also have 4 live Zoom sessions like this with me, where I will answer your questions and we can talk about what's going on, how I can help you get through this first step of getting started. We always hear this, take the first step, take action, do this. You got to get started. And then, we felt like people were saying, I'm ready to step, I'm ready to take an action. I just don't know what that action should be. This is where you find that out. If you're a proven Amazon course member, it is $37 for you. And that's the only people that get it. Let me put this link in there. It's silentjimdotcom/Kickstart. And you can find out about getting into one of those groups. And we'd love to have you if you're looking to get started, looking to take those first steps.
I just want to say something back to one of Nathan's points. I mean, they're really, if you listen to the podcast, you get involved in the community, you talk to other people. Everybody comes from different walks of life, different, like everything. No two people are saying we know that in life, but to watch normal people, I guess I shouldn't say normal, but everyday people like all of us here. I have a full-time career. I just came from my job and hopped on the computer with you folks. I'm in a group with a mom. She's a single mom of 4 young kids. Like everybody works at their business in different ways. I can only put, part-time hours in during the week. there's others that do this full time. It's really designed for you, but it's really great that you took the first step and came here, because the more you get involved, the more you'll see, like, these people are just like me, and we're genuine, and we really truly are here to help. We're not here to try to sell something to you. It's a really great system. And I'm dumber than a box of rocks. I will tell you that. And I'm doing it.
Okay, let me stop you right there, Missy.
No one's dumb. No one's
You
dumb.
are here or you are in this community. You are not normal. You're extraordinary. And the degree is growing all the time. You
Mm,
don't come
true.
and investigate a community like this if you're not an extraordinary person. Join us because we're extraordinary too. We don't just accept the way life says it's supposed to be. We want more. So we're doing something about it. So
Well said.
welcome. Thank you.
Well said.
Matt Ward is asking, have you signed up to Amazon's new grade and resell yet? Any luck? Is it just another way to generate more income for them from us, or does it make financial sense?
I believe this is the program. Maybe, Nathan, maybe you know more about it. Is that the program where they sell refurbished stuff, or
Brand new. It's brand new. Personally, I don't touch it because I sell and liquidate refurbished stuff outside of it because there's so, there's so many things going on with Amazon that, like, for instance, people think that if you use a program called Vine, that what it does is it reviews your product. You got a new product you're launching on the Amazon marketplace. Hey, let's use it. But if you don't have a great product or whatever, sometimes those Vine people that you're paying Amazon to get a review for your review, they don't leave good reviews. You get a 2-star, like, what's going on here that you'll pay for? And so I think Amazon, as they mean well, it's not a program I trust yet. It's kind of like when Amazon came out with what they call merchant fulfilled Prime, where, yeah, you ship it, but it goes Prime, but it's got to get out that day. If you don't ship it out that day, it messes up your seller metrics and your seller performance health score. And, I don't think that's a good idea for other people to go. So this one, the jury's still out. We haven't fully proven that program yet. We don't recommend it just yet. But once I see somebody using it and not running into problems and not risking their account or biting off more they can chew, once I've proven it out, I'll definitely give my stamp of approval on it. But the jury's still out on that one.
well, Nathan, I know you got something to say. What's on your mind?
One of the things that I would say, if you're brand new coming into this community, a couple things that you don't want to do, right? Well, one of those things, and I call it shiny object syndrome. We teach a lot of cool stuff. I mean, one of my courses, I have a course with a gal named Leanna that in the Proven Amazon course on branded bundles. You may look at that and go, man, I'm really excited about that, but you may not be ready for that. Let's build a foundation in the business and work our way up to it, right? I mean, let's do the stuff that's very low risk today. Let's just get our hands on some easy stuff to flip, make a little money, put that money back into the business, and keep focusing and bolt down to one strategy rather than bouncing around. I see a lot of people going, oh, should I be doing OA? Should I be doing RA? Should I be doing wholesale? Should I be doing branded bundles? Should I be doing private label? And we talk a lot about private label. We don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. If you can build a brand and a private label product and be successful at it, there's nobody that will give you a high five higher than me, but it's a hard one to win at out of the gate. So start at the very basics and learn that. And if you learn the easy stuff first, that maybe it's not the shiniest object, right? And it doesn't, it doesn't have the most appeal. I think that if you bolt down to it and build that foundation, you'll have a great little business that if the new venture or you're moving up the ladder isn't working out, it's something you can always go back to. These strategies are proven. This is not our theory on how you should be able or could be able to make money. We know that it works. There's a reason why Amazon allows us to use their brand name in our course, Proven Amazon course, because we were the first course in history out there ever on how to sell on Amazon. I started this with Jim back in, we started that course and actually created the first version of it in 2008. I started selling on Amazon in 2007, and boy, has it changed. But my biggest problems were, oh, got to try this, got to try that, got to try this, instead of really bolting down to the foundational stuff and getting that to work before you move on to the more, I don't know, the sexier opportunities. You got to prepare yourself, you got to pay your dues. And then another thing too, don't come into this with the impression that it's going to be easy. This is real business. Don't go out and search for, search 100 products and research and go, man, I found only one product out of 100 that was a winner. And this just isn't for me. No, you got to be willing to weather the storm and do thousands of those, right? And along the way, as you find one, it may not seem that significant, but think about this. Very simply adding a $200 to $300 a month stream of revenue into your income. There's one. Okay, now let's add another. It starts, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So my recommendation is to get with the Proven Amazon course. Start out with the Amazon 101 course. Do the Keep a Sourcing 1 and 2 and advanced. Get involved in the Kickstart with Rob and Joy and Brian. These are the great places to start, right? To build that foundation. Build the foundation. Don't skip any of the steps and try to go up the ladder. Go one step at a time and realize that slow and steady wins the race. This is not a get rich quick business. It's a real business, right? And, even though you're going to follow a proven system, it's a system built on failing forward, right? Is this one a winner? Nope, that one's not. Nope. We're going to fail forward quickly until we find these ASINs that are winners, right? And we reveal exactly how to do it. If you follow the system to the T, it's like baking a cake. It's a recipe. If you have the right ingredients, you're going to build that cake every time. Now, a question that just popped up. Do you recommend the coaching program for beginners? I'm a little biased, I'll admit, but people ask me this question.
Meet
When's
the director of the coaching program.
Jim and I are partners. I oversee and run the whole coaching program, but here's why I think coaching is good at any stage of the game. Because from the very get-go, you're going to avoid making the mistakes that most people make in terms of, what you should sell, what you shouldn't sell, how to do it, how are we being as efficient as we possibly can? And we know it because someone's overlooking our processes to make sure that we're doing it. So if you start it from brand new, it's going to help you avoid some of the hurdles and pitfalls out of the gates, and it's going to help you compress time. It'll get you to where you want to go faster, right? It's kind of like you could use the Proven Amazon. Everything you need is in the Proven Amazon course, but that's just like going to Disneyland. But when I go to Disneyland, I always buy the fast pass, and I'm willing to pay the price because I don't want to wait in line in the heat for the rides, right? With the kiddos. So I'll buy the fast pass. That's what coaching is. Although I feel that whether you do coaching with us or you get some type of a coach, a mentor, a relationship, someone that you can learn from, a mastermind, the sooner that you integrate with that, the sooner you'll start to see accelerated result. Relationships are what move the needle in this business. And Daniel Lappin, he's a rabbi that we follow pretty closely. He was the keynote speaker at our conference. He has a very good statement that he makes about how humans, men and women, were not designed to be alone. We're not meant to be alone. And this can be kind of a lonely business. And, you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you have somebody that's like, oh, here's what I'm doing, just so you know, criteria for all the coaches, they all have to be running a business on Amazon full-time to be a coach. We don't have people around here that are just people that coach all day long that don't actually do the business. That's a requirement. We have a lot of these coaches. A lot of them have come from becoming a student and then evolving into a coach, right? So you're getting something that's very unique that you will not find out there in the space of people teaching other people how to do Amazon is coaches that are actually doing the business full time, right? So getting a mentor, as soon as possible in life. I mean, that's what happened to me. That's what got happened to me. I had to go to school to get dumb to realize that really the key to it is having the right mentor, right? I had
Yeah.
to unlearn and
Hmm.
realize that there are coaches that and mentors in my, like Jim Cockrum is one of my very best coaches, mentors. In fact, even Robin and Joy now, I devour their training and content
Oh,
because it works.
well, thank you very much. Jim is also a mentor for us, and we're very privileged to have that, as is Nathan. And I want to mention before we go any further, I do have a hard stop at the top of the hour. So,
Me
so
too.
we don't get to anything, everybody.
I've got a meeting with Dang Dang and this new software, the new things that we're building.
Oh, great. Well, let me answer this question, and then I would love for you to talk about that a little bit. Michelle wants to know if there's info in the PAC, the Proven Amazon course for financial monitoring for ROI profits. We're having Keep It Lean because they're just trying to keep with Keepa, and Amazon professional subscriptions. Great. In the beginning, that's a great place to start. And I know of people who have really, really much bigger businesses that only use Keepa and the Proven Amazon course. So good for you. Keep it tight for now. That's great. There is a course in there by Cindy Smith, who is a CPA, and I'm not sure what it's called, but look up
It's the
Cindy
Proven
Smith.
Accounting course.
Proven Accounting course. Thank you.
I've got something that we're creating that is like next level that we just met on today. I'm going to put the cat out of the bag here, but there's a software that's called Profit Cyclops. And they were a sponsor at our conference recently, and I met with them today, and they have a product that shows you exactly what your profits are on ROI, creates a balance sheet. It's like Seller Board, but it works for Walmart. It works for eBay. They have integrations with ShipStation. They're integrating with my shipping software. I mean, these guys, they ran an 8-figure Amazon business and created their whole thing to just get rid of spreadsheets. Now, I use a lot of spreadsheets, but after what they showed me today and how it analyzes the data, this new tool, Profit Cyclops, is it's better than the education because it's a software that's actually showing you the hard data. And really, that's one of the biggest. That's a great question that you should ask that, because the number one thing I see in coaching where we've had to tighten up our ship and people are making mistakes is they do not track and know exactly where they're at with their numbers and their profit. How can you get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're at?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, so there's some good tips. That's so
great
thank you for that, Nathan.
But if you can do it with just Keep It and your Amazon subscription.
Sure, you absolutely can.
Pay the course.
I was going to mention about something you said before, Nathan, about starting in the beginning with replans. We started in the beginning with replans and we pinned it down, and then we started doing other programs. We have, we do a little POD, we do a little bit of private listings. And what happened was we keep our replans business going all the time. And we've kind of got it down where it kind of runs itself because we've gotten to a place where we can outsource almost everything. But that gives us cash flow. That turns cash all the time, all the time, all the time. And what we can do with that cash then is go into some of these more complicated strategies that maybe take a longer ramp up time or more upfront or a little bit higher risk on my money that I've gotten from money that I've created as opposed to from my pocket. And that sometimes is a really good reason to get that pinned down first, build your experience there, and then you'll be able to move into those other strategies much more confident, much more able, and with cash to do it as well.
Michelle said they got the final numbers from the from Seller Central, the transaction reports. Actually, I think she's asking if that.
Yes, you can. What I like to do is I like to go into business reports, and then what I like to do is I like to go to detailed page sales and traffic, and then I pull that, and then that's where you start getting into all these spreadsheets. You can download a great spreadsheet from Amazon, see them at. And as far as the aspect of this whole program and how it all kind of fits together with those reports on the back end, like you can export what your conversion was, how many sales you made, but it's really hard to find the fees in there. You have to go through and dissect all the fees to know exactly what profit was versus what you think it was, right? Amazon it makes it very difficult to see what their fees actually really were, and very confusing too. I've got a long-term storage fee, but I've got a low inventory fee, but I've got an oversized fee, and to track it all in spreadsheets that way, you can do it, but man, it gets old. And so I recommend either, like I said, a tool like Sellerboard, or a tool like this new Profit Cyclops tool, because what you have to do is you have to pull Amazon's reports and then pull them and make your own formula and report to actually show the real data, which is something I've done for years and hated. And now after I saw what I saw today, did not use Sellerboard, but don't sign up for these services until you're making the money. Like,
Yeah, and I would definitely use what's at hand first too, with that course in Proven Amazon course. Cindy knows what reports you need, and what you can get from Amazon. She's well versed in Amazon. So I want to get to Jean, who's got her hand raised here. What can we do for you, Jean? Thanks for raising your hand. Speaking up.
Hi, I just have a quick question. I'm still struggling because, as Missy said, she's dumber than a bag of rocks, but I feel like I'm dumber than a bag of rocks. She figures it out, and I'm still struggling. But right now, I seem to be paying more out on fees, like my Amazon account fee and other stuff. And if I'm putting more money out than I'm putting in, how do I go about changing my seller account? Can I change my seller account so that I don't have that big fee per month when I'm not bringing any money in or not finding any items to list?
Okay, so I think what you're asking is your seller account. You have a professional account that's $39 a month, and you want to change it to an individual account that's you pay as you go. Okay, there you can do that. Absolutely, you can downgrade your account. There's some cautions there that I would give you though, because anything that you have accomplished in your professional account, like any ungating or restrictions that have been lifted or any account health or anything that you've built up, you're going to lose that if you go into an individual account, and you won't get it back when you upgrade back again. It'll be just gone, and you'll have to rebuild that. The other thing is they don't approve you for new items, for new brands or categories in an individual account. You're very limited on what you can sell. So I think there is in Amazon 101, I think we put some information about the difference between the two and what you'll be missing if you don't do the professional account. On the other hand, if you're not serious about building this business and you're not going to continue forward, then don't keep paying it. You have to make a decision, I think, to decide whether this is going to be a real business or not. It's not
going back and forth is a bad idea. Going back, I'm going to cancel it now, and now it's back, whatever. Amazon definitely penalizes you for that. And I've seen people that actually had a rough time getting back to getting a pro seller account from the individual account.
Yeah, I would definitely exercise caution and make a clear decision about what you're going to do before you make a change.
I know we need to get off, but and I wanted to let everybody know there's a fairly new feature in Manage All Inventory in Seller Central. And if you open that up, it'll give you more than just the regular view of your inventory and your prices and things like that. It'll, there's Amazon fees in there, and just go in and check that out. It'll give you a little more information for those of you who are like Michelle and are trying to stick to just using Seller Central and Keepa. You might find a little value in that.
Great tip. And if you are looking to see exactly what was charged to you on any given transaction, then go to the payment screen and the transaction screen, and every transaction is in there. And if you click those links on the right, you'll go deep in there and it'll tell you exactly what they charged and what they charged it for. These are the amounts that come out of your proceeds.